Hi everyone, Irish Lily here, and welcome back to Seduce the Otome, and let's get back to where we were. Okay, there we go. I drew my attention back to the dishes. I was both intrigued and slightly scared of the amount of food they made. I would be too. Seeing my expression, Eric leaned forward and proudly smiled, gesturing to all of the dishes with a dramatic sweep of his arm. Okay, I could see him wanting to do the Romeo and Juliet play.
I made almost all of the dishes myself.
Humorlessly enough, Matthew looked at him with a shocked expression as if he was betrayed. His face changed instantly to that of a frown.
And I'm the Queen of the Nile.
Oh!
What's that supposed to mean?
Oh my god. Why?
Me, you, and James did the work together, dummy.
It's you, James, and I, Matthew. Little boys will always make mistakes.
Matthew looked at James in disbelief, probably for siding with Eric, and annoyedly swiveled back towards Eric.
I'm not a little boy. I'm barely a year younger than you.
Well, you certainly don't act like it.
Why? I really couldn't help but laugh. Matthew seemed very much like a kid. He was adorable, however. I couldn't help but feel like, in a way, he was much more mature than the others, especially Eric.
Huh? Is something funny?
No, it's nothing at all. Thank you for the meal, all of you.
Oh. You're welcome, miss.
Such a well-mannered young lady. Beautiful inside and out.
Sorry, I'm not a big fan of flirtatious people. Why?
Eric, knock it off.
In agreement with Matthew, Sam cocked his head and glared at Eric.
Seriously, you're getting really annoying with that suck-up act.
It was obvious that Sam was the bad boy of the group. He had this big tough guy act, and physically he was the strongest of the five, but was there more to him than that?
I'm just trying to be a gentleman. The young girl has already gone through so much. She deserves a good treatment. There's a difference between being a gentleman and being an obnoxious flirt.
Thank you, James! Thank you!
Schooled even by James. You're gonna need some cold water for that burn.
Okay, I like Matthew. He's cool. He's cool. He would be my cool book. My cool book. If I have one, and that is.
By the way, I don't believe we caught your name even though you know each of us.
Oh, kind of forgot about that. Hold on, guys. Okay, I'm back. I had to give my brother medicine. Anyways. I'm Kaylee.
It's a pleasure to finally know your name.
Yeah, that's a nice name.
They were so comfortable around me. Despite the awkward situation we landed in, it was as if it was totally natural for them to be around humans. I guess that was just how incubi worked. I think that's how you say it. I'm not too sure, so. But I was still curious about one thing. Excuse me. All at once they turned to me. I didn't know why, but having all of them look at me made me feel kind of important, like a queen of something.
What is it, miss?
I mean, thank you for the food, but I still need to know why you all came here. I feel like I don't quite understand. Yeah, like being told that a bunch of incubi randomly appearing in your house was perfectly understandable.
Oh, how
came here to heal. What's so difficult to understand?
Now you're just being rude, Sam.
I'm just saying, how is that difficult to understand?
No, I mean, what specifically happened?
Well, you see, we've been traveling around for quite some time now. Just recently we came into town, but we were jumped by this band of misfits. So, in order to escape and heal, we came here for shelter. Again, we apologize for the mess we made.
It's fine, I guess. So you're all better now, right?
Yup, all thanks to you.
Huh, me?
You see, beautiful, we feed on sexual energy. But we don't just get it from kissing lovely ladies such as yourself. We can simply touch someone's hand to obtain sexual energy. Everyone carries sexual energy, you know.
I was shocked it wasn't just the kissing that gave them power. It was anything physical. No wonder I was out for a while. These incubi intrigued me, but I could almost hear a warning siren going off in my head.
Is there anything else you wish to know?
Well, what do you all plan to do now?
Yeah, what are we gonna do now, James?
That is a very good question. We just got here and surely we'll be hunted again if we leave.
We can take him easily.
Not without more training, Sam. The result of that was clearly evident in our last encounter with them.
At that moment, I didn't know what came over me, but I felt sorry for them. They couldn't survive out there if they didn't know breaking and entering was against the law. They probably didn't know what else was illegal. They would cause chaos all over town. On the flip side, they could be taken in for questioning and be poked and prodded like frogs for lab research. That was even worse. But most of all, they reminded me of back then. I was standing alone. The entire classroom was filled with laughter and chatter, but I stood in the midst of it, quiet and alone. It was strange seeing the whole world pass in front of me with such vibrancy, all while I stood there. On the plus side, I wasn't engaged in any drama that might have arisen, like scribbling on someone's paper for revenge or kicking someone too hard. It was kind of nice just standing back and watching things pass by and life go on. I had long convinced myself that I preferred being alone. I often encouraged myself saying, yeah, I want to be alone. There's no one I like better than me, so I ought to spend more time with myself. But there was a certain bitterness that made me feel sad. There was a difference between being alone and feeling lonely. I just didn't realize it at the moment. At that moment. And even after that moment, my father, my mother, there was no one to turn to. I was so lonely. That's when I decided on it right then. I was going to see my grandfather. I didn't care if my father wouldn't take me. I was going to walk my way over there and see what he had to say about it. I had never seen him before that. What better time to see him then? If no one else was going to help me with what I was feeling, I might as well have turned to him. So after school, I decided to walk there. I had no idea how to get there, and I was armed with only a scrap of paper with the address scribbled on it. As a 7-year-old, I obviously had great ideas. Soon I knew I was lost. I just stood there on the sidewalk, back pressed up against the wall, and I was watching the strangers passing by. And like always, people continued to pass by and life continued to go on. I was more depressed than ever. I had ended up in the situation I was originally in. Nothing had changed. I thought that I was silly for even thinking that I could change things with my own hands. That was until a voice brought me back to reality.
Hun, is that you?
I looked up and saw an unfamiliar face, but it was obvious that whoever was talking to me knew who I was. And from that moment, things began to change. Life began moving its rusty joints, and I realized that things were moving along. Suddenly, I had become part of the crowd that moved like a blur past me. I was no longer someone who stood still and watched life pass by. Life had changed. I had changed. Because the person who found me that day was my grandfather. I had the opportunity to help them. The question was, would I? I want to, but I wasn't sure if that was the best idea after all. Okay guys, I'll be back. My dog is crazy right now. Okay, I'm back. I want to, but I wasn't sure if that was the best idea after all. 5 demons in my house wasn't exactly the living arrangement that I had imagined moving into. It was a matter of making sure no one found out about their powers. Thinking about them as lab rats made my stomach queasy. And even if they passed for humans, how would I explain having guys living in my house? Imagine if my friends came over. They would practically think I was part of a harem or something. Oh God, imagine if my parents came over. I think my mom would faint. Who knows what my dad would do? I think he would have them arrested on the spot. Oh, this is hard. Maybe I should have written out a pros and cons list before actually having to make the decision.
Don't worry too much about it. You have plenty of time to decide. Besides, you should do what makes you happy as well.
It was strange that I happened to remember what my grandfather said to me when I was little, but it did kind of make sense. They weren't in the same exact situation that I was in before, but I did want to help them out. I think it would ease my conscience and also make me a bit happy to give them help, as weird as that sounded. Clenching my hands into fists, I strengthened my resolve to speak up. Well, you could.
What was that, lovely lady?
That is,
Spit it out already.
You could stay here with me here if you'd like. As soon as I finished, the room became still. I'm not sure what went through their heads. The silence in the air cut like a knife until I spoke up once more. It looks like you all need a place to stay, and well, I just moved into this giant house, so it made sense to ask. It was all quiet in the room. I decided to keep talking. If you would like to stay here, though, there are 2 things that I need all of you to follow.
Yes?
First of all, you can't use your powers or deliberately do something that might harm me or any of the guests that come over. Well, save for enemies, but you get the gist of it.
That sounds reasonable.
Second, you have to help me with my errands and around the house. This place is big. It's kind of big. So, yeah.
That is a generous offer, miss. Are you sure that would be okay? We don't wish to burden you any more than we already have.
It's alright, really. I mean, I just started living here myself, so I would appreciate some help around the house.
A wonderful idea. We'll live here and train while helping you with the house. Servants for the lovely princess.
What? I just asked them to stay, and what? They're not my servants. I treat everyone equally as long as they don't get on my bad side. What?
What? Are you serious?
Shh, be quiet, Sam. I haven't slept in a bed for days.
They all seem to like the idea except for Sam, and hey, I didn't really hate the idea either, even if they were incubi. It would be interesting having 5 guys helping me take care of the house, given they would follow the rules that I had laid down.
Fine, but we're not staying here forever. Only until we can beat up that group of punks.
I think that is a reasonable time limit for our stay.
Yes, this is awesome.
Also beautiful. If you need a bedfellow.
Eric, knock it off.
Thank you. I would have been like, are you testing me right now? Are you legit testing me? I was happy that they agreed, maybe if it was because I wasn't going to be lonely for a while or because they all needed help. I would never be sure.
So what are we waiting for? Let's celebrate and dig in.
Finally, I'm starving.
Instantly, Matthew and Sam began to stuff themselves with food on the table. I noticed James' eye twitching in irritation, so I stiffed my incoming laugh.
Really, you two? You're both acting like pigs. Oh, let them have a little freedom, James. It's not like we've eaten recently either. I'm sure they've been starving. Still, that's no excuse for stuffing their...
Oh, whoops. I almost couldn't hold it in. I don't want to laugh. I don't know what to choose. What do I choose? I'm just gonna put so then. I'm not too sure. I looked back at Damien, who had been silent the whole time. He was leaning against the far wall, moving his lips almost silently to the empty space beside him. Out of curiosity, I looked at the same way, though I found nothing there.
It's nothing.
Huh? I looked back to see Damien looking at me with his normal blank stare. I couldn't help but stare back, feeling the red tint of embarrassment spreading across my face. As I stared, Damien gave me a very small smile and closed his eyes, returning to his thoughts. Eventually, we all ate together. It was strange eating with just guys, but they were enjoyable to be around. They made me feel like a part of their family. As we ate together, however, our peace was soon disturbed. Huh? Oh, it's my mom. Excuse me. Hello?
Hey, honey, how are you? I'm sorry I didn't get to see you off.
Hi, Mom. Everything's fine. I'm actually eating dinner right now.
Oh, good, good. So there was food there. Well, your father wanted me to call and talk to you about having a house party tomorrow night to celebrate the new house and all.
A house party tomorrow night? So soon?
Your father insists. You know how he is with events.
I know exactly what she meant. He didn't like long, relaxing periods between important events. It was slightly messed up. I was expected to act on the drop of dime, from moving immediately the day after a funeral to my grandfather's house to a new organizing a party. I know, well, since I don't exactly have you two here to help me arrange it, I'm going to need some time to prepare things.
Oh, that's fine. I mean, Suzu and Naomi can help. I have work, and you know how your father is.
I know, I have to do it myself. He won't help.
I'm sure it'll be amazing, honey. I have faith in you.
Thanks, Mom.
All right, I gotta go. I love you, sweetie.
Love you too, Mom. Great. How am I going to do this?
Is something wrong?
She has to organize a house party for her parents.
Oh, right. Mind reading. But yeah, I have to do it soon or my parents will be really disappointed. I'll have to stay up and organize everything tonight. Yay!
Hey, why don't we help you? That's what we're here for, right?
I don't see why not.
I can name a few reasons why we shouldn't.
Sam,
Back off.
we'll take care of everything, miss. Just leave everything to us.
That was surprising. I didn't think the boys would offer to help me right off the bat. I couldn't help but smile. I was actually rather thankful that I let them stay. Now I didn't have to do everything alone. As I kept thinking about it, I couldn't help but yawn.
Feeling a little tired over there, princess?
Yeah, it's been a long day. At least tomorrow's the weekend so I can sleep in. Then it hit me. Wait, where are y'all gonna sleep?
We found some guest rooms on the opposite end of the house from the master bedroom. I'm sure those will do just fine.
Oh, got it. Alright then, I'm heading to my room to study and sleep. I guess I'll see you all tomorrow?
Have a good night.
I will. You too! With that, I left the dining room and went to my room.
Eric, no. What? I wasn't going to do anything.
Yes, he was.
Shh.
As soon as I got into my room, a wave of exhaustion hit me. Why am I so tired all of a sudden? I just woke up from that nap. I dragged myself to a bed and hauled up one of my bags. I opened it and grabbed my economics book, knowing that no matter how tired I was, I had to study at least a page or two before sleeping at last. The words on the page scrambled in my mind as I read through them, but after 2 or 3 tries, I managed to understand what the page was about. Equations, ugh. Finally, I decided to change into my pajamas and head to bed. Today had been a long day and I needed the rest. Hopefully, tomorrow will be better. 3 days of surprises in a row would kill me. With that thought in my mind, I drifted to sleep, embracing the darkness of slumber.
You fucking pretty boys think you're all that, huh? Well, save that to the end of my pistol.
He sounds like a psycho. I'm just gonna say that now. How many minutes has it been? And not long. Huh? What's going on? I couldn't move my body. I felt like I was tied up and I couldn't see anything beyond the darkness that surrounded me. Yeah, I could hear the sounds of a heated argument coming at me from all directions.
One move and she gets it. Let her go.
What is going on? I'm confused now. Matthew?
Come on, chicken shit. Fight us like a real man.
Like you scare me, Sam. Come on. Take one step. I dare ya.
Why can't I see
Stay away from her, Malix!
Malix? I'm confused on what's going on.
And what are you gonna do, nerd boy?
Suddenly I felt myself pulled to one side, arms wrapped around my body protectively.
I've got you. Don't worry.
Huh? Eric! As I was held in a tight embrace, I felt the world around me once again settle into a low, peaceful hum. The hostility of the dream before had faded into black as the arms around me rocked me comfortingly. Slowly, though, my eyes fluttered open and I looked up at the person holding me. What? Damien? I stared into the eyes of Damien. His face was painted with worry and concern, and I knew he must have seen my dream. Why did I dream of Eric holding me, though? Why?
You can't control your dreams.
Oh, well, I guess you're right.
Are you okay?
Yeah, I'm fine, thank you. What time is it?
It's 9 a.m. James and I were making breakfast when well,
You can't control your mind reading.
no, not yet at least. I hope to learn eventually, though.
Is everything alright?
Yeah, I'm alright.
That's good. I'm assuming you had a nightmare.
Yeah, I'm sorry for disturbing you both.
You didn't disturb us, miss. Besides, we'd rather make sure you're okay before anything.
Oh, thank you.
Now, why don't you come downstairs with us and have some breakfast? I'm sure some nice food will take your mind off of what you dreamt of.
It was embarrassing to be the damsel in distress, but I felt rather happy that James and Damien were concerned for me. Despite only knowing me for a short time, I wasn't sure if it was just courtesy or if they were genuinely concerned. I couldn't exactly read their minds. Alright. The two boys led me back to the dining room where the smell of bacon and eggs danced in the air. The smell wafted from the kitchen and made its way into the room, making my stomach growl in need. Breakfast smells good.
We should be done with breakfast soon. If you want to sit down at the table, you can.
I nodded before sitting down. As I sat down, however, my mind drifted back to that dream I had. That feeling of hostility around me made my body shudder, even though I knew it wasn't real. However, as my eyes closed, I felt a hand place itself on top of my head, breaking me out of my thoughts. Huh?
Morning. You alright?
Yeah, I'm fine. Sam, the owner of the hand on my head, raised an eyebrow at me before rustling my hair and moving away to sit down at the table. He then barked towards the kitchen where James was working.
Hey! Is the food done yet? I'm starving!
My thing's freezing. Yay. My thing's freezing up. Why? Hold on, guys. I'm gonna try, if my thing will unfreeze. Sorry about that, guys. My game was, freezing up, so I had to, yeah. Gonna get, okay, there we go. Is the phone done yet? I'm starving. We already heard that part.
There's no need to yell, Sam!
You're yelling too!
Don't argue with me!
From behind me, Eric appeared and sat beside me, rubbing his temples in obvious annoyance.
Can we not yell this early in the morning? It's not like we're in the castle.
Castle? For some reason, when I heard that word castle, I couldn't help but yell in surprise. These guys had a castle? Sam looked at me and smirked at my reaction.
Yeah, we have a castle back home. Our dining room's 10 times bigger than this room.
And wouldn't it be logical to not yell?
Whatever.
Soon James and Damien appeared, carrying plates full of bacon, eggs, toast, and waffles. They placed the plates down by each seat before seating themselves.
My favorite.
Finally.
Thank you for the breakfast. It looks amazing.
It's our pleasure.
All of a sudden, my phone began to ring, imploring me to pull it from my pocket and answer. Hello?
Hey, good morning! Guess who's at your door right now?
Right on cue. There was a knock from the lobby door. My heart stopped. Suzu and Naomi were here.
I'll get it.
My heart quickly began to pound in my chest. Matthew was in the lobby and he'd get the door first. I instantly jumped out of my chair and rushed out of the dining room. And as I passed through the archway between the dining room and lobby, I saw Matthew reach his hand for the brass door, causing the world to go into slow motion. Matthew, don't... But before my words could reach his ears, Matthew had opened the door and revealed the surprised faces of Naomi and Suzu. The word around me stopped as Suzu and Naomi kept their eyes on Matthew, who merely stared back in fear and embarrassment. I could feel the air go from warm to freezing in a matter of seconds. Hi?
Hi?
I could not believe this was happening. How was I going to explain this? This week was already bad enough. To make matters worse, I was frozen in place. Please, for God's sake, someone do something other than stand there.
Who are you?
Suzu, let me explain.
What's going on here?
Who's at the door, Matthew? Oh.
Don't you dare! If you flirt with my friends, you'll get kicked. No. As soon as the other incubi appeared in the lobby with us, the situation was not getting pretty. I had to think fast. They're visitors.
Then why did one of them open the door? Yeah, that doesn't make any sense.
It was no use. There was no time to lie to them. I felt helpless. Then I felt a hand on my shoulder and felt the tension in my body almost fade away. I turned my head to see James smile at me before stepping in front of me.
We must apologize, ladies. We know this situation must be confusing for everyone. Let's take this to the dining room and we'll explain everything.
I stared at James wide-eyed. Was he going to tell them who they were? Everything seemed surreal. Before I knew it, I was led to the dining room along with Suzu and Naomi and sat across from their confused gazes. As Naomi and Suzu sat down, Eric and Matthew placed their untouched plates of food in front of them, surprising their guests.
Whoa, this looks amazing! Thank you!
Our pleasure, ladies. We hope you enjoy your meals.
Make sure you dig in!
I looked at Naomi and Suzu as they began to eat, visibly enjoying every bite they placed in their mouth. Hopefully the food would ease their minds for whatever James wanted to reveal. As Naomi and Suzu ate their impromptu meals, James and the other's boys stood behind my chair, making me grow more red in the face.
So, Anderson, are you gonna tell us what's going on?
Well, you see, Gently, James placed a hand on my shoulder again, signaling me to just eat my food. As I began to eat, he spoke to Naomi and Suzu.
We are Miss Anderson's house servants. We were hired by her late grandfather to help around the mansion, but since he has passed, we now assist Miss Anderson with living on her own.
That makes sense. It's such a huge house.
Thank you, James! Thank you!
A huge house for a wonderful princess such as Miss Anderson deserves the greatest of servants to care for it.
And you ruined it.
But why are you all dressed so casually and stuff? Aren't servants supposed to have uniforms or whatever?
Well, Miss Anderson allows us to get comfy while we work, so she lets us wear casual clothes.
Yeah, something like that.
We're sorry if we made this situation awkward earlier.
We're very sure that Miss Anderson is also still getting used to having us as her servants. It would be very hard to explain after just a day.
Okay. Yeah. How did I know that my game was going to do that? So yeah, guys, I'm going to end the video off here today. So, bye, guys.